Okay, please hold for Dave Sim. Please hold questions for September 2025 or August 2025. This is being recorded August 2nd, so I think we're too late for August, Matt. Dave, I'm okay with using the last of July's answers as the August please hold. I mean, I posted them already, but I'm okay with skipping August. It's too hot to think about kids in bunny suits. Good point. Um, but a few things have come up. And as I said when I posted, please hold for Dave Sim, July 2025 to The Revenge. Okay, since this was all sorts of screwy kaflooey this month, we, meaning me, are instituting a new policy going forward. Questions will be assembled into a single document sent to Dave the Monday, the week before the first Thursday of the month, i.e. Monday, July 28th for the August please hold. If you decide to skip me and send something to Dave for please hold, if it's an image / comic / drawing / whatever, please send a scan to Moment of Cerebus, that's all one word, at gmail.com. So I have the thing when it's time to make all the damn videos. Since I'm posting the transcripts underlined, maybe check there and see if Dave has already answered whatever question you have. Well, I think depending on how many pages they're having to read to try and determine that, that's as tantamount to saying, go away and stop asking questions. If we've covered the question already, we'll let you know while I'm recording it. And if it's been a while and I don't even remember if I've answered the question, I'll probably just answer it again. Matt goes on, and if it's a follow-up or request for clarification, mentioning which transcript it is / where in there it is, that'd make my life a tad easier. I think tad is an understatement in that case. Yeah, as much help as you can possibly give for, okay, what are you asking about? Where was it? And whereabouts was it in the transcript? Still 3 questions per asker, yes. Podcasters get right to first, quote, publication, unquote. And I'll tag you on the YouTube if you include your handle from over there. And then Matt says, I missed sending this on Monday. Quote, mistakes were made, unquote. Okay, well, it's not going to work the way that you're talking about because this centers on Rolly coming in. So if you put together a single document with all of the questions the Monday, the week before the first Thursday of the month, then I'm not going to get it until the Thursday, which means I'm not going to be able to answer it until I've actually read the questions and had time to formulate the answers, and then record it sometime over the next week, and then the following week, Rolly will be able to email it to you. At which point, you have to take what the answers are and put visuals with them. So we're looking at a situation of back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. You're going to have to start the please hold process the month before the please hold actually goes up, because, like I say, there has to be you email it to Studio Comics Press, they print it out, Rolly picks it up on Thursday, brings it to me, I answer it over the course of the following week. Rolly emails it to you, which is the first time that you will have been listening to it and fitting the visuals in there. And you're going to need a week for doing that. So we're still working on this, a work in progress. How Please Hold is going to work going forward. Anyway, Michael R. sent in, "Hi Matt, I just found that Jim Shooter passed away on June 30th, 2025. This is from the Wikipedia page. Death. Shooter was diagnosed with esophageal cancer in 2024 and died of the disease in his home in Nyack, New York on June 30th, 2025. And then Michael goes on, "I sent you the video of me asking Jim about Wolverine/Wolveroach appearances in Cerebus 54, 55, and 56 with him at the Lehigh Valley Comic Con back in April. I sent the video to Dave via Rolly, but Dave refused to watch the video." It's like I'm going, oh, okay. See, this is where we get into the evil Dave Sim thing, and Dave Sim, is always avoiding his day of reckoning. Blah blah blah. Dave refused to watch the video. So okay, let's deal with that first. I refused to watch the video because I had already instituted the policy of no outside digital files are going into my laptop because I don't want anything to happen to that laptop. That's the one where I type the Qbert font captions and word balloons for Strange Death of Alex Raymond and for the Ninja High School crossover. And I don't want anything happening because something went into the laptop that didn't originate here with me. Nothing gets added onto that laptop. The reason I instituted that is because I had already had the situation of Rolly giving me a thumb drive and saying, "Here, this is from Matt Dow, and it's got this, this, and this on it." And it's like, I had already said, I'm not putting outside digital files onto the laptop, and because I just can't afford the possibility of something happening to the laptop. And then, of course, I went, "Okay, Dave, you're just being paranoid here. It's a digital file from Matt Dow, and it just went from him to Rolly, and now he's handing it to you on a thumb drive. Nothing's going to happen." And without a word of a lie, I plugged it in to my external thumb drive doohickey because my new computer doesn't have a thumb drive doohickey on it. And as soon as I clicked on one of the files that you had sent me, Matt, the screen went black for about 15 seconds. And it's like, and then it came back on. And it's like, har, 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 good one on Dave. Okay, I understand, har, 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 good one on Dave. But what I said to myself, don't be paranoid about this, actually happened. So now it's a matter of, okay, I'm not being paranoid. It's a very good policy. There is no reason to have anything on my laptop that that didn't originate there, because I just don't want something happening. And of course, if something did happen and I said, okay, what I said was going to happen happened, then everybody would be going, well, I don't see how that could possibly happen. And it's like, yes, I know. My life is full of, I don't see how that could possibly happen. And then it actually happens, which is why I've become very leery about all of these things. So if it had happened now and you were sending a video to Rolly, we have a new policy where that can, anything that comes into Rolly in an audio sense or a video sense, he can put it on the laptop that we've got here in Camp David, because that isn't crucial to my producing Strange Death of Alex Raymond pages. It's like that's where Rolly stores all of the digital files and stores the scans of the Strange Death of Alex Raymond pages and the Ninja High School crossover pages, etc., etc., etc. Anything that I get him to email to you, Matt, that has to be scanned, gets scanned and put on the Camp David computer. And that's where we're putting my phone messages so that I'm not bringing in alien phone messages onto my laptop, so that if something does come in that collapses the computer, it collapses the Camp David computer. And we buy another computer, and everything gets taken off of that laptop and put onto the new laptop. But it's not crucial to my working day. This is not going to stop or slow down Strange Death of Alex Raymond or Please Hold for Dave Sim. So now we can get to it. But Dave refused to watch the video. Dave refused to watch the video for the very good reason that I just outlined. It wasn't, I refuse to watch this video because I'm afraid of what Jim Shooter might say. Okay, Matt then goes on to say, I got the video from Mike and posted it, and hero to the blog, or here to the blog. Anyway, Jesse Lee Herndon got us a transcript, so you can read Jim's comments from Mike's video. Matt, this is, I assume, Jesse Lee Herndon writing to Matt. This didn't take but a minute, aside from one part where I absolutely cannot decipher what he's saying. I settled on, quote, pulls on my wrist, unquote, but it could be, quote, bowl of Crispix, unquote. I'm going to opt for the former since that at least gets the point across, unless you can hear better. So yeah, okay, this is another qualification here. I'm reading Jesse Lee Herndon's transcript of what Jim Shooter had to say. If you listen to the video of what Jim Shooter had to say and you go, no, I don't think that's what he said, I think Jesse Lee Herndon got it wrong, you're just going to have to settle that all among yourselves. Okay, Jim Shooter, about the Cerebus Wolveroach covers as he autographs them. I'm going to go sentence by sentence on this one, because I think this parts company with reality at various points. So I'll just point out where I think that that's what's happened. And Jim Shooter says, so, okay, that's parody, and you can get away with that maybe twice. That hadn't been established at the time, and that still hasn't been established, how many times you can parody something. It's definitely a given in Jim Shooter's mind, and it was a given, I think, in Marvel Comics' mind, that you can do one Wolveroach cover, but you can't do two Wolveroach covers. My position would be, okay, well, show me where that says that in law anywhere, like accepted copyright law, that parodies are limited to single instances. And if you do more than one instance, then you're liable. And then in the next sentence, Jim Shooter says he does a third one and a fourth one. Well, as Michael pointed out, no, I did three of them, and I didn't do a fourth one. There were 4 Wolverine mini comics in the miniseries that I was parodying, but I only did 3 of them. And so the Marvel lawyers, they wanted to sue his ass for trademark infringement, right? Okay, I'll take his word for that. Uh, and he says, and I guess they sent him a nasty letter. I don't know. Um, okay. I think at this point, if we're really all interested in this, evidently there was a letter printed in Cerebus. I don't really have time to go and look through all of the back issues back to 54, 55, and 56 to see what it was that was said in the letter and who the letter was sent from. Um, I would question. I'm questioning Jim Shooter's timeline here. He does a third one and a fourth one. Okay, I didn't do the fourth one. I did the third one. But at that time, I wasn't really publicizing what was going to be on the cover of Cerebus. I was working right up against the deadline. So it's by the by the time the third one came out, it had only been 2 months since the first one. And I don't think anybody had really noticed or really had anything to say about it. Um, but I will take Jim at face value. So the Marvel lawyers, they wanted to sue his ass for trademark infringement, right? And I guess they sent him a nasty letter. Okay, well, if you can find the letter, he even says, I guess they sent him a nasty letter. I don't know. Um, so anyway, this gets down to me, and I went up and talked to the lawyers, and I said, no, we like this guy. He's a pioneer. We like this guy. That seems like a very odd thing to say to lawyers somehow. Whether you like this guy or whether you don't like this guy, if we think there's a danger of losing our trademark to Wolverine um, because we don't do something to this guy, that's our concern. What relationship you have with him, or if he's a pioneer in the comic book field, that has nothing to do with the whole floor full of lawyers at Marvel Comics. Uh, they said, "Why don't you make it? We'll license him." Uh, okay, well that didn't happen. Retroactively license him to use it. That way we're protected. Um, okay, well, that presupposes that they sent me a document of some kind saying, we license you to use Wolverine, a Wolverine parody, Wolveroach, and to use him on the three covers. Uh, and this protects us. As like, I don't really see how that would protect them or how any copyright or trademark lawyer would see that as protecting them. He gets to make some money. Well, by the time this was happening, theoretically, I already made my money. Um, then who cares, you know? All right, uh, Jesse, you've got that in quotation marks as part of what they said, and I'm not sure that that's how it's intended. I think what Jim Shooter was saying was they said, why don't you make it? We'll license him, retroactively license him to use it. That way we're protected. He gets to make some money. And then I think it's unquote. And then it's Jim saying their attitude was, who cares, you know? Um, and so we ended up licensing him the use of Wolverine for these 4 issues for $1. And it's like, I can, I can guarantee you that that didn't happen. Um, okay, and so now I'm reading the next issue of Cerebus. I come to the letter column. He's still trashing me and Marvel in the letter column and stuff. So I was like a little peeved, you know? We ran into him at a convention. Okay, I think, okay, if you want to go back to the letter column and the notes from the president after 54, 55, 56, this wasn't happening immediately. I don't think. I don't think it would be in 57, 58, 59, or 60 or 61. And I don't think I was still trashing Jim Shooter and Marvel in the letter column and stuff. Uh, my recollection was that all that Jim Shooter had to say about it was at a comic book convention just before a panel that I was on, and he came in and came up to the panel and said to me, the Wolveroach covers. If you ever want to do something like that again, contact me so that I can run interference on it. And I said I would do that, knowing that I wasn't going to do that because I knew I'm about 90% certain if I said to Jim Shooter, okay, I'm going to do this parody, he would get the legal department to send back a letter saying, no, you can't do this. Anytime I ask permission, it's always no, which is why I never ask permission. I just go on the basis that, okay, this hasn't been settled in law. And until it is settled in law, you can't do anything about this. And even if a new law is brought in, um, it's going to get grandfathered in. It will be, no, you can't go back and prosecute anybody who did two parodies of something um, uh, because we have this new law that covers that. It's like, no, the law has to exist at the time. So I was a little peeved. I never got the sense that Jim Shooter was peeved with me. It's I don't know how that got communicated, but obviously that was his recollection. Okay, and then on to the next sentence. We ran into him at a convention. Not really sure who we are, and Chris Claremont was there. And Chris comes running over. He said, "Hey, Dave Sim wants to go to dinner with us." And I, again, I can't really picture that. If Chris came to me and said, "Hey, we're going out, all of the Marvel people for dinner. Do you want to come along?" If I wasn't doing anything, I'd probably go, "Sure," because I knew a lot of people at Marvel at that time. Um, but I don't think I would say to Chris Claremont, "Hey, can I go out to dinner with you guys?" Um, so I'm taking issue with that. And then Jim Shooter says, "I said to hell with Dave Sim." And he, presumably Chris Claremont, said, "No, really? No, really? I mean, I, again, I think, Jesse, you're probably putting the quotes a little too expansively there. Uh, I think that he has Chris saying, no, really? And Jim Shooter going, I mean, And I said, Chris, this guy's been insulting me, all year up to it. I'm not interested. All year up to what would be my question. This is something that's presumably happened in the immediate aftermath of the three covers. And now it's a year later, and I guess in Jim Shooter's mind, I'm still trashing him over Marvel's reaction to the three covers, which, as I'm saying, is the only reaction that I thought I got was Jim Shooter coming up at the convention and the general cease and desist warning letter. Um, so anyway, Chris pulls on my wrist, and so Dave comes along and he said, I didn't think that would bother you or hurt you. Um, Even back then, I wouldn't talk about something hurting somebody, and I wouldn't talk about something bothering somebody. It's either legally I can do a parody, or legally I can't do a parody. Either legally I can do 3 covers, or legally I can't do 3 covers. He says, um, presumably indicating me, quote, I'm like this, gestures, fingers together. That's what I'm saying. I pictured us as we're all in this together, and you're like that, spread arms wide. You know, he was just, people liked what I was doing. So, I'm like, he actually believes this. Um, Again, this may be who Jim Shooter has made Dave Sim into his mind at the time, um, but it it doesn't sound like me, and it doesn't sound like what I would say if we went out to dinner and we talked about the Wolveroach situation. It would have just been it's a parody. And if he said, well, one time's a parody, or maybe 2 times, then I would have just said, well, where does it say that in the law? You show me a generalized international copyright trademark law that says, no, you can only do 1 parody of something or 2 parodies, but 3, that's trademark infringement. No, it's parody. Parody is not trademark infringement. And, so we get over it. We became friends. He actually did something, I think, with Epic Comics at some point. And it's like, I did something for Epic Magazine. I did, the Young Cerebus stories for Epic Magazine. I was certainly comfortable enough with Jim Shooter at the time that Denny and I separated, which was August 1983, and Denny wrote a huge check to her sister because her sister had gotten into financial trouble on our joint bank account. And I looked at that and went, okay, until this gets straightened out, I think I might need some extra cash just of my own that isn't in the joint Aardvark Vanaheim bank account. And I phoned Jim Shooter and explained, I'm in need of some emergency money. Is there something I can do for you, like for Marvel, for pinups or something like that? And that was when he suggested doing a portfolio for Marvel Fanfare. Just do 3 or 4 full-size ones. Will pay you X number of dollars as soon as they come in, and as soon as we get the artwork, you'll get the money. I think even he sent the money before I sent the artwork, but I'm not sure if that was the case. But like I say, that was a month or 2 months after 54, 55, 56. I don't know. Are Cerebus fans allowed to talk to Chris Claremont? Could you, relay this transcript to Chris Claremont and ask him, does the Chris Claremont in this story sound like Chris Claremont to him? And, if it doesn't, what's his recollection of this? Does he know what convention that Jim Shooter is talking about? And does he know what happened at dinner about the Wolveroach covers? Chris wanted to do a crossover with the X-Men. I said, I'll have to see, how are you going to do that? But it never happened. So there you go. All right. Checking. Okay, that's 29 minutes trying to cover that. So now I'm going back to Strange Death of Alex Raymond, page 667, and then presumably on Monday, I will hopefully have a shorter question to answer. But thank you, Michael R., for the question. Thank you, Michael R., for the Jim Shooter autographed copies. Thank you, Michael R., for interviewing Jim Shooter. Um, um, Thank you, Matt Dow, for getting this to me. And I hope this covers what I've got to say on this. And apart from that, if somebody goes, okay, now I am curious about this, pour through the note from the president and the aardvark comment for 1983, 1984, 1985 until you've covered everything and go, okay, was I trashing Marvel and was I trashing Jim Shooter? Okay, uh, everybody have a nice day wherever you are. Here's me, Dave Sims, signing off. Please hold for Dave Sim, August 2nd, 2025.